The Big E lobs it to Malone underneath against Davis.
He does. He very rarely takes a bad shot because he knows what he can do.
To the basket, dipsy doodle shot. Oh, and he's fouled. What a shot by Malone. The foul's going to be called on Smith. Push over to Calvin Murphy. Murphy looks low. Malone just pulls his way to the hoop and scores.
Rockets don't want to commit a lot of fouls or commit a lot of turnovers, and so far they haven't. That one drops for Moses.
Goes into Malone. Malone low on the left side. Fakes. Now turns from the baseline. His shot is good.
For anybody. 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. Moses is going to have to take it.
Moses Malone.
And Elvin Hayes will come back in. Rotating guards, rotating forward. As Malone, perimeter, swinging the ball, loop it to Malone. 4-man on Moses Malone. And
Peter Henderson left side. Inside it goes to Malone. Turn around 15-footer Malone. 2 more.
Here. Henderson left side. That is Garrett. The jumper. Good. Moses.
Bothered by Lou.
I just shot my shot at this little dot. I'm trying to crit that neck on her big neck. My niggas selling crit.
It's a bitch Drew and I'm back in the event kind of big body banger 23 video. Now first things first, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 7K now. Saying today I am the build dealer on your local corner, and I'm coming at y'all with this Moses Malone 2K23 build video. Yes sir, it was requested, so here it is today. I had a good time with this build as always. You know what I'm saying? Moses Malone, one of the most unrecognized and disrespected centers of all time. He was a 3-time MVP, 13-time All-Star, I believe 1-time NBA champ, you know, with the Sixers in 1983, rebound champ, all defensive teams. You know, bro was different. And the fact that he isn't really mentioned in these all-time discussions for big men is kind of egregious. You know, bro has a better track record than Hakeem Olajuwon, for example, if we're looking at individual accolades, but, you know, doesn't get the recognition. So, you know, I don't know why that is. Probably because he was an older player and not many people recognize him, but still he definitely deserves his respect. So I guess I'm going to contribute to that today with this build video. So without further ado, let's get right into the attributes I use for this 2K23 Moses Malone build video. So as you see is number 2. I made him 6'10", 250 pounds with a 7'3" wingspan and a solid body shape. This is all accurate from the height to the weight to the wingspan. As always, I try to keep my builds as accurate as possible to maintain consistency. Now for the attributes, I'm gonna put his, well, for his finishing, I'm gonna put his close shot all the way up to a 90. I'm gonna put his driving layup up to a 82, going to put his driving dunk up to a 75, his standing dunk up to an 80, and his post control all the way up to a 94. For his shooting, I'm going to put his mid-range shot all the way up to a 78, going to not touch his three-point shot because let's be real, I'm going to put his free throw at a 61. For his playmaking, I want to put his pass accuracy up to a 60 so we can make those outlet passes, but obviously not a primary passer. You know, he was a great outlet passer though, don't get it twisted. Defensive rebound, you want an 89 interior defense, 55 perimeter defense, 71 steal, 87 block, 98 offensive rebound, and then put your defensive rebound all the way up to a 95. For your physicals, you want to put your speed all the way up to a 60, put your acceleration all the way up to a 60, put your strength all the way up to an 86 to get you goal brick wall, put your vertical up to a 70, and then put the rest towards stamina. And that is pretty much the build, man. Like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. And as always, let me know what y'all thinking about the build. Let me know what I could have done differently. You know, if y'all think that is accurate to Moses Malone, you know, I always like to hear y'all's thoughts. And for the takeovers, I go with box out wall and advanced post moves, but I have access to rim protecting, glass cleaning, and post scoring takeovers. So it is a good range to choose from for a center build. And you see in the shades of, while I don't get Moses Malone, I do get Robert Parrish, Steven Adams, and Rob Williams III. Moses Malone has a replica build, so I believe I would have to be closer to those stats, but a lot of times the replica builds are just not good representations of the actual players, as we all know, you know. So yeah, this is my version of the build. Once again, let me know. Now, for the bash spread, you do already have a pretty balanced bash spread, but because you have a 94 post control, you have access to goal quick first step. And if you want to access that, you need to add 3 attribute upgrade points. to your playmaking that you get from your 4 badge attribute upgrades from playing mycareer, you know, because right now off base you only have 3 playmaking badges. If you get it up to 6, you will be able to access gold quick first step and do what you need to do in that department. Now with this build, it is very post heavy. Obviously that 94 post control gives it away, but you will be playing primarily in the post with this build. But don't get it twisted, you are able to stretch the floor out in the mid-range area. Of course you can't shoot threes with this build, but you are able to step back, shoot a mid-range shot, you know, shoot a post fade, post hook from the mid-range area. If you master your post game in 2K, you will be unstoppable. Like I always say when I make these post builds, the post game is still unstoppable in 2K. It's just a matter of who you're playing with, or what your attributes are and how you're playing. I shouldn't say who you're playing with, because you're obviously playing with your mycareer player. But you know, if your attributes are correct and if your badges are correct and if you have the right skill, you will be able to score on literally every single possession that you play in the post. There will not be one possession where you really get a bad shot if you know what you're doing. Now there are times when 2K has you miss close shots because they know that it's overpowered and they know that every time you drop step you're probably going to get a at the basket type of shot. But regardless, because you had that at the basket type of shot, your field goal percentage should be skyrocketing and your points and rebounds and all those numbers should also be skyrocketing. Also with this build, it has lockdown defense and it is a glass cleaner, so you are able to get any rebound that you want to. You have max rebound on the offensive end, and on top of that you have an 87 block, so nobody is really taking anything up on you. And if you need to get into the passing lanes, you have a 71 steal. Now this build does represent Moses Malone. I believe he's on the all-time rebounding list. I don't know where at. I'm sure he's top 5 though. He did average what 10 or so rebounds his whole career, and that's spanning over 20 seasons where he played the majority of the games. So yeah, bro was different, you know, interior force in all ways. You know, whether it's on the defensive end, he had a few seasons where he averaged over 2 blocks a game. You know, obviously those 3 MVPs, he had to be doing something right, and obviously he was the pivotal piece of that 1983 76ers championship. Even though they did have Dr. J, there would be no championship without Moses Malone. And yeah, he definitely deserves his recognition. But that's for us to end the video, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 7K now. Saying comment down below any builds that y'all want and I'll eventually get to them. But until then, I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Peace.